Are you ready for a more optimistic view of the current situation? Hello, everybody. My name is Kirby Ingles, and I'm sitting here about 2 hours outside of St. Louis in the Mark Twain National Forest. And today, I want to speak with you about what happens and how you should position yourself during a crisis. It's really about turning your pain into power. So stay tuned and let's get started. Are you looking for leadership in these times of uncertainty? A more optimistic view of a crisis is that it will show you something about yourself. You will draw closer to others on a deeper level. You will see people do amazing things for humanity. Your life will become more real on a level that you've never felt before. How do I know these things? These things always happen during a crisis. History continually repeats itself in patterns, and we human beings are creatures of habit. We have behavioral patterns that aren't difficult to figure out. A crisis is never a crisis, it's always more than that. It is an opportunity to experience life on a different degree and at a different depth, like you've never experienced it before. You probably think that you're satisfied with the way things were and that you don't want to experience a crisis for the sake of experiencing life on a deeper level. Look, I understand. Who wants to experience a crisis? No one can imagine, right, what a crisis is going to do, what kind of effect it will have on people. No one wants a crisis. No one desires to be a part of a crisis. But most people look for a way out of a crisis. And even if you see it coming, you try to outrun it. However, this is just one of those things that you can't run from. And actually, we haven't been able to run from it or any of those crises that we've been a part of during our lives. Even if it was a geographical, isolated crisis, there will still be second and third order effects, not only on a country, but the rest of the globe. A crisis is an opportunity for all of us to experience all the things that I mentioned above, really, in the beginning, on a more personal, an individual, and even a deeper level. It's an opportunity to grow into a more seasoned leader or a better version of yourself. And when great leaders surface in our world, it is always during a time of crisis. Now, today, you find yourself in a situation that you probably cannot fix. And people are coming up with scenarios and predicaments that continually worry and even scare everyone else. They are elevating the circumstances they create to compound the problems that we're currently experiencing, or they're amplifying the second and third order effects. Honestly, they're in a crisis. You know, you're really in a crisis when you feel like you've exhausted all your options and you don't know what to do next. And when everything that you've imagined working doesn't work, you can no longer negotiate your way out of it. You can't buy your way out of this. You can't speak your way out of this. You can't build alliances and find your way out of this like reality TV. After you learn and try everything to alleviate the situation, you stop looking outward and you start looking inward. What is my purpose now? 5 questions you got to answer. Who am I? What do I do? And what do I offer of value? Whom do I serve? what I helped them with, and how are their lives changed because of that. It's time to do the work, folks. So maybe you're feeling a little helpless in this current situation. Today, you might be in a place that you probably didn't see coming. You have a heavy burden on your shoulders that goes beyond your strength. So you're starting to kind of feel this despair. If ever there was a hopeless situation, you might be in it. Honestly, we haven't seen anything like this since the Spanish flu. And you hadn't done anything to cause it. You might have been minding your own business, following the straight path to success. And then you ran into this place called despair. If you share these feelings today, you're probably in good company. Many people, many, especially leaders, workers, entrepreneurs, business owners, parents, teachers, the list goes on, knew what they wanted and pursued it at all cost. And most are feeling a loss of hope and despair right now. They're standing shoulder to shoulder with you. This should demonstrate to you that no path guarantees an experience without difficulty, sorrow, or sacrifice. The opposite is typically true. And sometimes, when situations in your life appear hopeless, it is time to redirect your focus. You might feel like giving up because you can't fix the situation and all of your resources have been exhausted. You're in a situation where your credentials, your experiences, and even your relationships aren't going to change anything. So you need to trust where you are and what you have right now. It is a time to go to a deeper level of understanding. It is in these times, right? These hopeless scenarios where you see no way up, over, or out. And somehow, a brand new you will surface. Your life has become even more real to you on a whole nother level, as you've never experienced it before. And when life situations have you struggling, please don't be ashamed. Everyone feels despair at some point. Turn inward. Look to peel some layers back and emerge a stronger person. See, if you do not experience these trying moments, you won't know what it is like to experience a sense of renewal. Today is an opportunity to discover a better version of yourself. You have to have a chance, right, to reach a new level, to become the type of leader your family, your profession, and even your community needs. Maybe your nation in the weeks and days and years ahead. Times like these are revealing. A crisis is a time to discover a different side of the people in our lives. A crisis will reveal a new kind of truth, a new level of understanding of who people are, to include yourself. Are you spreading a bunch of misinformation? Maybe you're buying into the confirmation bias that you might have. Do the current events cause you to spiral out of control? Somebody sets you off on a tangent. Have you measured your actions and words in the last 4 to 6 weeks since this crisis started? For example, I recently read an email from a person, he was a coach that I have a lot of respect for. And they had admitted that they made light of this situation over the past, 6 weeks or so. But when it turned severe, they realized that they had gotten caught up in all the hype. brushed it off, didn't believe it could potentially happen here in North America. I have a lot more respect for the guy who came forward and made himself extremely vulnerable while admitting their flaws. Sometimes we have to see the truth and share our understanding in a vulnerable way for others to follow, and you can do the same. Some of our best work is inner work. Work on our character happens during very difficult times. And this crisis will show you who you are, your strength, your presence, and your self awareness. Who will show up when your back is against the wall? The difficulties and crisis in your life serve a purpose, and it's refining who you are. And when this happens, you can show up in ways that you've never thought before and reach another level. You can come to know yourself in ways never possible before, and even when life was comfortable. While most of us assume that our best selves are when we are standing on top of the mountain victorious, we're just fools. You're about to get knocked off, and you don't even see it coming. It's when you are going through the trials of life that we find our greatest selves in the upturn. It is when you enter the upturn, you break away from what has been holding you back, and you usher in a new version of who you are as a leader. Never treat a crisis as a negative thing. That happens to you. Your crisis is a positive thing that can unveil the true leader within. And that's today's message. Don't forget to give us a review and also smash that subscribe button. I'm Kirby Ingalls, and it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you next time.